Now, I think that we could all agree here that Bob Iger is by far the absolute worst Disney CEO of all time, and over a couple of reasons here, actually quite more than a number of reasons, because of all of his failures with Disney Star Wars, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the closure of Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. That's another big problem that really marks the official, image of Disney really failing with their theme parks and everything related to Star Wars merchandise. I mean, the list goes on and on, not to mention the Disney stock hitting a very big low. So we know that there's a lot of things going on right now with the Snow White live-action remake that is going to be by far the biggest box office failure for Disney in a very long time. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, you guys may or may not know director Marc Webb. He is the guy that is directing Snow White and has directed it, and is going through this re-edit phase right now, pretty much telling the editors on exactly how to rearrange the scenes, how to cut down the running time properly, make it a little bit more attractive to the common moviegoers. It's not going to fix anything. I know I've said this more times than I can even count, but it's not going to fix anything. It just is not. So, no matter what they try to do, no matter what remedy they try to pursue, it's not going to serve them in the positive sense. So, there's a lot of things that Marc Webb has said the past number of weeks that have not given Disney any kind of value or helped them in the least, and it continues to get even more serious. So let's dive into this. Now, with Snow White 24 going in a downward spiral, one major development has to do with director Marc Webb and his view of the general public against Snow White. He went on to deliver the following. When myself and Greta, he's talking about Greta Gerwig, the writer, were diving into this project and embracing the fact that it was going to be a reimagining of the original tale, we knew we would be dealing with some disgruntled fans that would create a bigger problem than it really is. Well, it's those group of fans and viewers that we tend to just tune out, and when we are either creating a film and promoting it, I think the best thing that they can do right now is to just shut up and mind their own business and maybe make their own movie. I think the common misconception in that these movies are made for fans or viewers, when really it's supposed to be about the creator's vision. The noise needs to be quieted down already, and think no fan has a right to feel that they are in control of a story like this. Everyone needs to remember that this is going to have a modern edge to the original story, and so isn't it obvious that we couldn't just retell the film beat for beat? We needed to embrace something innovative, something new, something that would draw in new fans of the story that has been in pop culture for decades. Now, again, guys, let me just say one thing about Marc Webb before I get to the next very big thing that he talks about, is the fact that he really just is very ego-driven with this movie, and I think that he's getting quite a bit defensive because of what's been going on behind the scenes. We talked about this. The Snow White universe fell apart. He was supposed to get this 4-movie deal with Disney, a Snow White movie, which is the current one, a sequel, and 2 prequel films, to set up this Snow White universe, so to speak. And they're doing the same exact thing with The Lion King, and Jon Favreau kind of got tuned out from that. We have a lot more to talk about that, by the way. There's a lot of drama surrounding Favreau and Disney and getting excluded from that plan for the Lion King universe, so similar scenario happening with Marc Webb, except a lot of those films were just flat out cancelled. And the fact that I think he's getting very defensive, seemingly angered about the fans being very loud and opinionated, and you know what, rightfully so. I think that fans are rightfully, really focusing on their opinion getting heard, because they have valid reasons. I stand for pop culture. I know a lot of you out there stand for pop culture, and it must be protected. And Disney just loves to destroy what it could not create. They like to only destroy existing, popular, and successful material. They can never create something of their own that can stand on its own platform. That's typical Disney, and it's becoming a more common trend as we move throughout the remainder of this year into the middle of the 2020s. This decade has been a very horrible one so far for Disney. So, moving onwards, alright, Marc Webb goes on to elaborate further by really just embarrassing himself again, and really kind of just catering to Greta Gerwig a little bit obsessively, so let's discuss this here. We are focusing on a brand new approach about the prince that we are fully aware many are not going to like, and it will create division for sure. But we have no concerns over that. In film history, there are always recreations of popular material that created a divide, and sometimes that can be a healthy thing between those that disagree to have a common conversation about the film to understand each other. I don't know about you guys, but are you guys getting Rian Johnson vibes here? So let me know below in the comments. As a director, he says, and someone who holds a vision, of course, I have had my differences creatively with some that are in my field that felt I should have had a different approach, but that's not always up to the director. I thank Greta Gerwig for really embracing an excellent story, and I think Greta really did a phenomenal job with this one. And though we did have our troubles and creative differences on set, I think in the end, we developed an excellent product for Disney that will be wildly accepted for the years to come. Now, look, Marc Webb is absolutely a Disney shill. He really loves Disney. He always has said that before in the past, that he loves what Disney does and what they have done with things like Star Wars, with, you know, the latest examples of the Marvel failures, stuff like that, which is understandable why Disney would hire somebody like him. And at the end of the day, this is someone that's coming out of 500 Days of Summer and The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, and look, you guys may like those Spider-Man films, and that's fine. But those are really the 3 movies that he's only known for. He's not really a fully established director, much like Christopher Nolan is. He's not like a major director in Hollywood or anything like that. If you mention Marc Webb to anybody, they probably don't even know who he is. And I think that what needs to be done by Disney at this point in time, since they're in such a delicate position, they need to just dial back, focus on common sense, focus on pure storytelling that has great character development, and take it from there with experienced writers and directors just to kind of course correct. But they're not going to do that. They're going to keep doubling down on DEI that is, you know, hypocritical and already flawed as it is. And Marc Webb is a prime example of one person in Hollywood that really loves to defend anything that Disney spews and throws it into the theaters or puts it on streaming. You know, we know that Marc Webb has fully supported Disney through and through. That's why he got hired. And we know that this movie, without a doubt, is all about stripping down the source material and getting rid of it to build up something new for a new generation to forget the original 1937 tale. So again, guys, I would really love for everyone to tune into the comments below, you know, inform me what you guys think about this entire scenario, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.